There's a call.
Thank you, Mr President. I seek leave to make a brief explanation before addressing a question to the Minister for the Public Sector on the topic of redirection of data.
Is leave granted? Leave is granted. The Honourable Ms Franks.
Thank you, Mr President. As was revealed by the ABC last night, South Australians and other residents, no doubt of the entire country, visiting South Australian government websites for information on anything from road safety to the COVID vaccine rollout are being redirected through state-liberal-leader.nationbuilder.com via Mimecast. Indeed, this has raised concerns in the community, and rightly so. In fact, the Treasurer, when in opposition, stated in the debate on the Public Sector Data Sharing Bill back in 2016, and I quote, "If a Premier with a compliant CEO in the Department of Premier and Cabinet has access to massive databases of people who have expressed views on political issues, he does not have to give it to his Reggie Martin or his party equivalent. He has that capacity through that database to directly provide information to all of those people on a whole variety of issues centrally as the Leader of the Government and as the Premier." Indeed, the Marshall Government is now assuring us that no data has been collected through this redirection. But even if we accept that statement, it does sound like this data is going through Mimecast, which would require data to analyse in order for it to function as a website analytics provider. My questions to the government are: how long was the Mimecast redirection through Nation Builder active for? Which government websites was it applied to? And what will the government do in terms of its stated steps will be taken to ensure that it will no longer occur for the public record of this council? And finally, how can South Australians be sure that the government is now telling them the truth?
The Treasurer has the call.
Mr President, I certainly believe that the overwhelming majority of South Australians believe the Premier and the assurances that he has given them. They've demonstrated great faith in the great statement in the statement the Premier has made. His leadership.
Order. Look, order.
His leadership.
Treasurer, resume your seat, please. The Honourable Tammy Franks has asked a question. The opposition need to allow her to hear the answer because I can't hear it at the moment. So I'll call the Treasurer.
Mr President, as I said, the overwhelming majority of South Australians have great faith in the Premier, and I know that the Honourable Ms Franks has free and frank discussions with the Premier. When he gives assurances, I'm sure she takes him at his word, and whether that be a private discussion or, in this case, a public assurance that he has given in relation to this particular issue. And I certainly, Mr President, believe that the overwhelming majority of South Australians, and certainly all members of the government, have absolute faith in the assurance that the Premier has given in relation to the issue. Mr President, he has issued an unequivocal statement on behalf of the government in relation to the issue. Mr President, in relation to the specific questions about Mimecast, which, as I said, the ABC wrongly characterised as something which is being used by the Liberal Party, but which has been pointed out as being used by the government. Mr President, I'm happy to get the details on when Mimecast was first utilised by governments, indeed, whether it's something that the current government, Mr President, instituted, indeed what did it replace under the auspices of the former Labor government, Mr President. I'm happy to get the specifics of when Mimecast commenced being utilised by the government. I'm happy, Mr President, also to get quite a detailed explanation on what Mimecast is actually used for, Mr President, and share all of that quite detailed and specific information, Mr President, with members in the chamber. The government is unafraid of transparency and accountability, Mr President,
Order.
is always very happy, Mr President, to the extent that we can, to answer the Honourable Ms Frank's questions, and in particular that aspect of this particular question.